guys. The attendance tonight was 16,234. Yeah, 34. The gate was 2.18 million. The fight of the night was Algeo and Brown. Performance of the night goes to Jillian, Royval, and Barboza. They all won $50,000. Congratulations. Oh shit, he's in here. Congrats. Yeah, 50 G's, buddy.
It's lucky you gave him the bonus, otherwise he'd be really bummed.
What's that?
It's lucky you gave him the bonus, otherwise...
Yeah, he was here, right? Exactly.
Another fight, another great Max Holloway performance. I'm curious, what did you think of his going out there?
Yeah, I thought he looked good. He kept the pace and kept the distance, controlled the tempo of the fight. I think that Allen looked incredible. I mean, if you think about it, it's his first big night ever in a main event. Whole crowd's against him. And he came on too late. I mean, if he had fought in the 5th round, the way he fought in the 5th round, in the 3rd round on, he would have had a better chance of winning the fight.
It is still good, though, for a young guy to be told, hey, you need to finish, and then he goes out in the 5th round and at least tries to do that, right?
Right. I don't even want to get into that shit, but yeah. I'm not a corner man or a coach, but yeah, I think there should have been a sense of urgency earlier, but I'm not a corner man.
So what do we do with Max now, right? Obviously, he's had the streak with Alex, and that's always a tough position to be in, to be a contender who's better than everyone else, but not as good as the champion, or you haven't been the champion. So what do you do with Max? Do you try and say, hey, look, we're going to find fun fights for you, or you're going to fight all the contenders? What do you do?
I don't know. You know, he won tonight, and we'll see where he goes here. Like I say, he beat a young, super talented guy that, you know, could have fought a different fight had he stepped it up a little sooner.
With Edson, a vintage knockout from him, I'm curious what you thought of his knee.
What's the question?
Edson's knockout.
Incredible, yeah. Again, against a young, look at how long Edson's been here, and you know, again, against a young, up-and-coming savage, and finished the fight the way that he did. Impressive.
You gave her a bonus, but I wanted to put out Jillian Robertson, right? Because she's kind of quiet. I feel like she goes under the radar, but she taps girls.
She doesn't go under my radar. But I love that kid. Every time she fights, win, lose, or draw, she goes for it. I mean, she goes in there to fight. And, you know, she could have easily kept that top position, just kept dropping punches and elbows. No, she goes for the armbar, which is super dangerous. You know, to give up that position, a lot of people don't do it. They play it safe. She never plays it safe. She goes in there and she goes to war. She was on the bottom. She starts scrambling. Then she gets on the top. I mean, she's a tough woman to fight. I love watching her fight. I'm a huge fan of her. So she definitely does not go under the radar. You know, if you're a fight fan, every time she steps in there and you're a real fight fan, you know you're in for a treat. Win, lose, or draw.
I don't know if you saw the first fight of the night, but the judge's decision was pretty controversial.
I came in right as it was ending. I did miss the first fight of the night, and we got a text from Mick that said, if this is how the judging is going to be tonight, we're in for a real shitty night. So yeah, I missed that one.
It was pretty bad. I'm curious, is there something you guys can relook at it and maybe, because I mean, she loses half the money. And
yeah, I know. It's tough to do. I don't know. I gotta look deeper into it. I don't know enough about it yet, but I do know that Mick agreed and said that, but a bunch of us didn't see it.
Yeah, last one for me. In Newark, we lost Charles Oliveira versus Manil. Are you guys going to look to add something else to that card, or
because we're working on it now? We're actually working on it tonight, and I just told Sean we'll get together on Monday and button this up.
Could it have anything?
Sean's like, I'll call you tomorrow. We'll get it done.
Could it have something to do with Gilbert Burns? He's been tweeting that he wants on that card, so he's put out.
He's been blowing me up all day too, so probably.
Okay. Well, Dan, how are you? The flyweight fight on the prelims. Brandon Royval got a win. He was in here earlier. He kind of made it sound like somebody from the UFC had told him that he'll be a backup fighter for the Brandon Moreno fight. Is that true?
Yeah, no, he looked good tonight, man.
Were you pretty impressed with him?
Very. I mean, I'm always impressed when that kid fights. He's incredible. And I knew that fight was going to be good. You just know.
During this card, your heavyweight champion, Jon Jones, was tweeting quite a bit. I know you said that you guys hadn't really talked to him, and he wasn't really on social media.
No. That was totally blown out of proportion. This is what you guys do. I say something, you blow it way out of proportion. I said, all the build-up and all the lead-up to that fight, you know what I mean? All this Jon Jones talk, poof, and then he's just gone. You know, Jon just back into the thing. And then Stipe came, I don't know what Stipe said, but it's like it turns into fucking drama. There's no drama here. I was just saying, the buildup was huge, everything else, and then poof, Jon was gone. You know what I mean? Back home and everything else. But yeah, as far as I know, everything's good, and hopefully we have a fight and with him and Stipe very soon.
You kind of made it sound like it'll be Madison Square Garden. Is that kind of the
Who
thought?
did?
John.
That's where we'd like to do it, yeah.
Um,
So I guess John's back, huh? He hasn't disappeared anymore. He's back. It's so fucking easy to create drama in this fucking sport. It's insane. Anyway, yeah.
Back in Kansas City tonight, a great crowd. This summer, I know you mentioned Jacksonville is somewhere you're looking to go. I think you commented on Instagram about Boston as a potential city.
Both, yep.
I guess, are there any other cities you guys are looking to hit this summer?
Yeah. I mean, we're going back to Canada. We're gonna hit Boston again. This last fight in Jacksonville is a thank you to the mayor down there who did a lot of good things for us during COVID. What else? What else, Lene?
I think that's really it.
That's it. Oh, Lene doesn't want to tell you guys shit. I love it. Yeah, that's it. Apparently, that's what the boss says.
Last one for me. Nate Diaz came out the other day and he said after his boxing match that's upcoming, he would like to have a conversation with the UFC again. Do you foresee a time that you guys could work something out and that there's any sort of future for Nate in the UFC?
We love Nate. I don't know what to say.
Thanks, Dan.
All right.
Dana,
Yep.
just behind us there. Going back to the topic of Arnold, and I know you were talking about the urgency maybe needing to come a little bit earlier in that fight. That aspect of the fight aside, how did you rate his performance and
He looked
how
good.
he coped with being on the big stage?
Yeah, listen, young guy, up and coming, gets ranked in the top 5, and then has he's the main event in a place where the entire crowd is cheering against him. It's a lot of pressure for a guy. I thought he handled it well. He's obviously talented enough. He went 5 rounds with Max Holloway, one of the best ever. I just think he poured it on a little too late.
Yeah.
But I'm not his corner man.
There are some parallels with him and Leon Edwards in that neither of them are big outgoing personalities who really push themselves on social media, but they're very dedicated and they've built these long win streaks in the UFC. Where do you think Arnold's direction should be from now? Obviously, he's hit that ceiling with Max right now. Where do you sort of see him in the featherweight landscape right now?
Yeah, I don't care about the guys who necessarily get out there on social media or talk or do anything else. It's all about, in this business, it's all about how you fight. Are you good enough? And let me tell you how hard it is to break into the top 5, especially in that weight class. And he has, and he's a talented guy. And I think that, there are a lot of mistakes made tonight in the corner. And obviously he's got that experience under his belt now. And they got to go back and figure out what went wrong and what was broken and fix it and come back. He's a talented kid.
And just to quickly touch on the topic of Leon, I believe he said that he's not going to be fighting in July in London, and he's possibly looking at Abu Dhabi. Is that still Colby, or is there other potential options on the table?
Yeah, I don't know about Abu Dhabi, but we'll see. We don't know what's going to happen with that. That's all, we're working on all that shit right now.
Cool. Cheers.
Yep, thank you. Go ahead, sir. I know you were going to go.
I wanted to go back to Brandon Royval. He was kind of disappointed he was on the prelims, and I know that you would spotlight him on your If You Know You Don't Know.
He's not wrong. He's not. Listen, we're really good at what we do, but we fuck up sometimes. We do. I literally said, did I not say this in my green room? I said, we fucked this up. This kid should open the show tonight. He's right.
Gotcha. So it wasn't kind of like put an exciting guy on the prelims to keep people watching the prelims.
He should open the show tonight. He should open the show tonight. He's not wrong. And, we got a lot of moving parts. And, unfortunately, sometimes it's like when I get in here and I start looking around and look at it, I would literally say, yeah, we fucked this up. He's right. Sorry.
Zach Cummings and Ed Herman retired tonight. I just want to know, Ed Herman's the longest tenured guy on the roster. I just want to know what he meant to the company.
Yeah, I mean, the kid is so tough and has so much heart, and I like him a lot. Both guys, you know what I mean? And for Cummins to, come in here tonight in front of his hometown and do it the way he did it, and it's hard. It's so hard for these guys for many reasons, but most importantly, the money. To just say, especially after a win, say, you know what? Tonight's the perfect ending to a great career, and it's hard to do. And I gotta respect that that's the way he did it tonight. He made the right choice. I agree with what he did. And for a guy like Ed Herman, not only to get in the UFC, but to stay here for as long as he did. He's one of the toughest guys I've ever known. He's a tough, durable, face anybody, gritted out dog, So I respect them a lot, both of them, and I wish them both luck. I gave them both $50,000 tonight, too. I'm getting old and soft, boys. Old and soft.
Just a few questions about future cards. You announced the main event for Canada. What was the thinking about doing the trilogy with like Irene Aldana up there, kind of chirping for a title shot? Did it just make sense to you about the trilogy between Amanda and Juliana?
Well, all this stuff, there's a lot of things that go into the matchmaking. Timing, injuries, and I mean, seriously, if you guys knew half the bullshit that we go through in making these fights and keeping fights together, there's a lot of things that factor into making main events, co-main events, and who's fighting where and why and all that shit.
Was Irene Aldana in the conversation?
Absolutely.
And then finally, there's no main event for April 29th. Is there anything that you can announce for that?
We will when we're ready, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What did you make of the fake retirements tonight? It seemed like there was a couple of fighters that just took their gloves
That
off.
pissed me off, actually, to be honest with you. Yeah, no, that pissed me off. I like him. He's a nice guy. But you're faking your retirement so you can say fucking happy birthday to somebody? Yeah, we're running a live event here. You know what I mean? It's just, I was not happy about that. Yeah.
Do you think they just kind of just did it just to get any time?
No, I think he did it to what? Get airtime? Yeah, he did it to, I don't know what he was saying, happy birthday to somebody or something, Yeah, that was not good.
And finally, it's been a week since Pereira fought. And like you said, Alex has now confirmed that he's going to go up to 205. But what do you sort of do with him? Do you just put him straight into title contention? Do you let him work his way up the ranks? What's your plans with Alex at 205?
Yeah, I mean, you put him in title contention in that he has to beat somebody to even be considered in title contention. He's got to move to 205 and beat a real guy. So that's what we're looking at right now, getting a real guy.
And I know you don't care about any of Jake Paul fights, but I'm sure you care about Nate Diaz fighting. And he's making his professional boxing debut against Jake Paul. Do you think Jake's bitten off a bit more than he can chew with Nate?
I don't want to shit on other people's fights, like Oscar De La Huerta. I don't want to talk about the fight. It's just, there's no, first of all, neither guy is my guy. There's just no need for me to comment on it or whatever. I wish them the best. I hope they make $1 zillion.
I don't know, I spoke to you about this last week, about the London card, you guys trying to make it a pay-per-view. But with Leon saying he's not fighting in July, is that now looking at being a fight night?
Yes.
Got it.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Just go for it, Dana. I want to go back to the light heavyweight division. Alzamat and Dustin Jacoby, two strikers. What did you think of Alzamat's performance tonight?
I'm sorry. Ask me that question again.
Oh, it's just Alzamat's performance, his striking ability. He landed a lot of strong punches. And kind of touched up on damaged Dustin a ton. What did you think of his performance?
Osman and Dustin.
Osman and Dustin Jacoby.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. That was a tough fight. That's another, again, I hate when I get put in this position, but I think that he's going to rewatch that fight and realize how tired he was and that he should have pushed the pace more instead of trying to take him down. He got the takedown, he roughed him up a little bit. Then when he got back up, he should have went for broke. He should have threw the fucking kitchen sink at him the last, however it was, a minute and a half, 45 seconds, I don't know what it was. He's going to rewatch that fight and go, that was a winnable fight for me. I should have let it all go. But again, learning experiences for these guys. And when you're in a must-win situation, meaning you have to finish the guy in the third round, going for takedowns and pushing him against the fence and kneeing him in the legs, that shit is going to win you the fight. You have to get in there, and if you really want to dog it out and win, when you got a guy as tough as he is, that's tired as he was, go for it. You have a window of opportunity to try to win the fight. And at least when you look back on it, you can say, I gave it everything I had, and I tried to finish the fight, and I just didn't finish it. Just my opinion. I'm not a fucking corner man or a fighter.
And obviously Dustin didn't finish the fight in the third round, but you've seen just his kind of mentality. I'm from around his hometown back in small town Illinois, just the adversity he's been through. And he's been through cut from the UFC, got on the Dana White Contender Series, and comes back and fight. Just the kid's attitude in the third round didn't surprise you, really, did it?
No, there's no doubt that the guy is a tough, durable, talented kid. It just comes down to that last minute and a half, 45 seconds, that if he would have done it differently, we might be having a different conversation right now. And that's one of those things when you're a fighter, you go back with your corner and you start watching tapes, and I'm assuming you just go, fuck. I should have let it all go that last minute and could have had a totally different outcome.